If you love and you know you want to start a planner business, do this first before you begin. The number one thing that stops people from seeing success when they start a new business is that they do not do these things that I'm going to go over in this video. So here is what I want you to remember and why you need to watch this video until the end. Just because you are an expert in an industry doesn't mean people want that service and or product you are wanting to offer. But here's the good news. 9 times out of 10, what you want to offer is probably needed, but it just needs to be validated. And we do that through market research. As you can see, phase 1 of any business, where we're going to specifically talk about a planner business, is being able to do proper market research. And the first thing you want to identify in this particular industry is the who, what, when, where, and how. And the first issue I see when people are starting a planner business is people are too broad. Now, I'm not going to teach you anything from theory or anything that I've heard, but I'm teaching you from experience, because as you can see here on the screen, when I first got started in my business, I was able to organically drive in over 600 comments and sales as well, because I was able to do this thing that I want to teach you. But I also want to show you some of the things that I have been able to do over the last 5 years in order to do proper market research. Now, when you enter into a highly sought after market such as planners, and then a highly searched industry such as travel, your ticket to success is niching down initially. Now, I'm not saying that you can't explore other ideas, but when you first get into any industry, you want to niche down. So in this phase, we talk about market research. You look for inspiration on a variety of different places, which I'm going to show you step by step how to do that. You can actually brain dump, narrow down your ideas so we can find a niche, and then you want to test your idea with an audience on social media, Facebook groups, all of these different things. So if you already know what your industry is, what your niche is, kudos to you. But in today's video, we are going to use the example and we're going to focus on the travel industry, and we are going to niche that down. Now, in today's market, we have tools like ChatGPT. So I'm going to head over to ChatGPT so you can see. And one of the coolest features that ChatGPT just launched is projects, as you can see here on the left hand side. So you're actually able to create projects. So I have this under travel industry example for planners. And this is the prompt that I use. So I want ChatGPT to act as an expert. I am going to just assume that I know that I'm in the travel industry. I love travel, but I do not know what's a good target audience for me to focus on. I don't know a niche. I don't have any of these things done. And I want to start from the first thing. So because of tools like ChatGPT, I could go ahead and type in this prompt, and this is what it's going to help me gather. So it's going to help me define a niche. So as you can see, step 1, we're defining a niche. We have solo travelers, family travel, luxury travel, all these different niche areas, and we're going to pick one. And for today's example, we're going to go with solo travelers. So as you can see here, solo travelers are focused on independent adventures, safety tips, and budgeting. We're going to identify a target audience. So because we're going with solo travelers, we're going to focus on women in their 20s and 30s exploring the world on their own. And then this just gives us a brainstorm, which in another video, we're going to go over how you actually start to outline what you want to go into your planner, because that's going to be a part of phase 2. But here are some planning features. We have pre-trip planning, itinerary pages, during the trip, post-reflection, research trends, and building your vision. And it even gives you ideas on how you can research and do different things like that, which we're going to go into. So the first thing I want to do is, now that we have defined a niche, so we're going to go with solo travelers, and now that we have identified a target audience, which we're going to go with women in their 20s and 30s, I'm going to head over to Google. Why? Because Google is the number one search platform in the world, next to YouTube being number two, which we're going to explore that as well. So first, what I like to do is do search-based content, which you can see here. If I type in travel, you'll see a bunch of different things that come on. So I'm going to do travel. And then I'm also going to just type in solo because I want to see what comes up. Solopreneur, all these different things. So I'm going to type in travel and then with an S. So I love to do this because then it just gives me different travel size toys. What a tongue twister. Toiletries, travel size toiletries, travel size perfume. So these are all things. So I'm just going to keep typing out travel solo not alone, travel solo woman. So these are all search terms, right? This is called search engine optimization. So I see one here. I like this travel solo female, travel solo woman. I love that. And maybe, you know what? I'm just going to click on this because this is something that we wanted to actually explore. So we see here womantraveling.com, women only solo travel, solo female travelers.club. And I love Reddit. Reddit is actually a good forum for you to actually get on. And these are different ways that you want to do market research. You have solo travel for women, 18 best plus travel tips. And then you can also see there are people talking about travel as well. So this is super important. And a lot of things are starting with solo travel. So we're going to go back in and we're going to just modify the search. So what I would do is I would go in and click to see what is actually happening, what people are talking about, what's going on when it comes to travel. And I would gather some information, and then I'm going to show you how I begin to jot down this information. So the first phase is you want to actually brainstorm. We talked about that. So I'm brainstorming here and I'm filling out inside of my brainstorm all of this information. So I have travel solo female, I have travel solo women, and now I'm just going to type in solo. And now you'll see solo female travel. Because I already typed in female travel, Google now recognizes that that is something that I'm looking for. So at the top of the list, you see solo travel, you see solo female travel, you see solo travel female packages. So these are all things that are highly searched. So solo female travel and solo travel for women are two things that I definitely want to focus on in packages, because by doing this, it's going to allow me to see what individuals are actually searching for when it comes to solo travel, because I want to identify pain points in this industry so I can see safest country, best places to travel. It's two things that I see that people are oftentimes asking for. So when I'm coming up with my planner concept, this is something that I definitely want to consider. So I would definitely want to consider creating a planner that will allow me to be able to add in best places to travel and safest countries to travel in, have a list, and then create a planner surrounding that as one of the components inside the planner. So where now I'm able to check these different things off. So now that I have this information, like I said, I would go in, check all of these things out, and then I'm going to move to YouTube. Now, when I move to YouTube, I want to do the same thing. So I'm going to type in solo, and I can see there's a bunch of different things coming up as it pertains to solo. So now I'm going to type in solo T, and we just do this. We call this going by the alphabet as we do search engine optimization. So you can see here we have solo travel. So I'm going to click on solo travel, and you can see here there's a bunch of different things. So 15 things I wish I knew about solo travel. That's something that somebody is talking about. Solo travel mistakes to avoid on your first solo travel. So I'm going to write all of these different things down again into my brainstorm, because I'm just basically collecting a bunch of different things. 24 solo travel hacks and tips when traveling alone. So I can see there 5 cruises. That's another niche within a niche, what you call a sub niche. So this is a lot of different things. So I see one of the common things people are talking about is solo travel safe? Travel tips and hacks for traveling solo. Solo travel mistakes and 15 things I wish I knew about solo travel. So again, we're going to go ahead and go on a brainstorm and we're going to list all these different things out because these are some ideas. So now I want to go with tips and tricks, and I want to go with top places and safest places because I like that idea as a planner when planning, and it's going to help a woman feel safer as she begins to plan out her travel. And that is something that's probably going to be super attractive. And I see that it's being searched for. So I love that. So I'm going to brainstorm this and I'm going to begin to fill out. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to head back over to ChatGPT because now I've identified what target audience. I kind of narrowed down some ideas. So now what I want to do is I want to go into ChatGPT and says, I have identified a niche and I would like to focus on women in 20s and 30s who want to know best places to travel and safest countries to travel to alone. Because now this is something that I want to do. And then I'm going to say, like, please give me some pain points based on this. Now, I want to get the pain points because this is going to be important to, and I spelled identify wrong, it's supposed to be an I, but it's still going to pick it up. I want to be able to see what the pain points are because when you're making your planner, the idea is to have your pain points, but you also want to connect it to a solution, which is the transformation that you want to have. So here are some pain points for this potential audience. Now that we have that picked out: safety concerns, decision fatigue, cultural considerations, logistics, loneliness, budget management, travel preparation, and building confidence. So these are all the topics that I want to potentially explore inside of my planner. And these are the pain points. But now I want to have transformation inside of my planner where I want to hit these pain points. So now I'm going to say, I would like to address these pain points with solutions in a planner. The planner should be functional, highly organized, and leads to a planned out, let's go 12 months. And let's just say in 12 months. So we're just going to keep it simple for examples of this video. So I know I want a 12-month planner. I know that I want to address these concerns throughout the planner. I know that the type of planner that I want to make is I want to be able to address the top countries, the safest countries, and the best countries to travel to as a solopreneur. And throughout the planner, what I want to do is I want to allow these women to be able to plan this out. But while doing so, I want to address budget. I want to address logistics. I want to address travel preparation. These things could look like checklists for travel. I want to build confidence. I want to be able to, inside the planner, as they're planning out, I want to give them tips for building confidence, what they should do. And this is also part of safety, what you should do when you're going out, what you should have. So I'm going to have safety restrictions inside, and maybe I might even have it planned out depending on where you're going, the type of country you're going to. So now this is going to give me the planner structure, the welcome message, how to use the planner, personal details page, monthly themes, planning your year of adventures. So remember, we talked about that. We talked about planning your year of adventures. And this would look like where they could go to. So the top places in the world that they could travel to, the best countries, the safest countries. And then we'll also gather different information. They're also talking about researching safe solo destinations, budgeting and saving for travel. We can have that in there. And they'll talk about monthly calendar views. So travel dates, obviously that's important. You want to have the goals of when you go to those countries, things to do, key milestones, budget trackers, because obviously when you plan to go to these different places, you want to have a budget tracker that you can do budgeting for. You want to have a pre-trip planning section, of course, for each place you want to go to. You always want to have your destination research work list, your packing, your itinerary, and then you can also have your cultural awareness tips. So this is really good. I like this because for each, let's just say we picked out top 12 places, since it's going to be 12 months. And for each section, we might focus on one country to travel to a month. You could also travel somewhere quarterly, just depending on what it is, because we also want a budget. So you can budget throughout the month as well. Just needs to make sense for where you're traveling to. Because it's not expensive to travel to countries, believe it or not. I've been able to go to Iceland for $300, all in total for about $500 for a weekend. So there's so many different things that you could do, and you can certainly budget for that within 30 days by just simply putting money aside. So you can certainly set that up inside of there. And each section can just repeat itself. So we're going to go more into this in another video on how we actually begin to do a planner outline. And this goes into the pre-planner outline, end of month reflection, end year goal. But one of the important things that I also want to do is I want to go back to Google and I want to search for solo female travel planners, because this is going to be important for me to do research on what's actually on the market as well. If you're getting value from this video, be sure to leave a comment below. Let me know some of the places that you want to travel to as a solo traveler or just as a traveler, but also let me know what planners do you wish was just out here on the market and that existed that you have not been able to find, especially if you're a planner lover like me. So if I go to images, I always like to go to images and then I also go to shopping. You can see there's a bunch of different ebooks, Black solo female travel, tips you need to know ASAP. So there's a lot of different things. So you definitely want to explore here. Ebook, The Ultimate Guide to Solo Female Travel. So a lot of these are ebooks, and I want to find planners for solo travel. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll look at the ebooks on the market and I'll see what they actually have. And then I'll also, so like, let's just take this for instance. So this here is a solo female travel ebook. It's a lot of them on Etsy. So I don't know exactly what's in some of these, but this is a travel. No, that's just a travel itinerary. So we want to go inside. Sometimes you're able to see kind of like the table of contents of what people are talking about, but these are more so ebooks rather than planners. But I want to make it a planner. So you can see here they do have pre-trip planning, building confidence. So a lot of things that we talked about, right? Self-care, all of these different things. So that just shows me that I'm actually on track. Oh, and one thing I would do is I would look at the comments too, as it pertains specifically to this, because reviews are really good. So it says this is well crafted. Now this is a PLR product, which is simply means that you can take this and you can recreate it and you can do something with this on your own as well. So this is just some of the reviews. So this is more of a PLR, and I'm looking for a planner. So I'm going to go back again on to, let's go to shopping. I'm going to go back to our search because I want to see if there's any solo female travel planners out here. Solo female travel planners. And we're going to just search. And we might not find any planners on the market. I'm seeing a lot of guides. So this is really cool. So if I don't see any, this just, so I see travel planners, and these may not necessarily be for solo travelers, because like I said, travel planners are in high demand. But I love it because people are actually searching for solo travel. So, oh, I see one right here, solo travel planner, but it doesn't seem to be so many out on the market, which is why I love to niche down. So I'm going to go on here. These look like just the digital files for it, but this one is specifically for solo travel planners, which I like. So inside of here, you get to look at a video. You can see what's inside, but this just helps you with market research as well. So you definitely want to be able to look at these different phases to see what's kind of inside of these and do your market research. But this is why this is so crucial to doing market research. And these are some of the ways. And again, I would just fill out this. And years ago, before ChatGPT, before any of these things existed, I created an ebook that showed you how to actually do market research. We went over different niches that you could think about, listing the top 3 niches. So you would just take this information here that we did inside of here, and you would just copy and paste this over into the ebook. So I'm going to actually give you access to this ebook. And what I want you to do is I want you to look in the description, and I want you to sign up for this ebook. And I'm going to give you free access so you can start actually planning out the beginning phase. And the last thing you want to do is create a customer persona. So within this, we'll create a customer persona, create customer persona based on this target audience. And the reason why you want to do this is because a customer persona, which while that's creating inside of here, you'll be able to know the gender, the age, the race, the income, the marital status. So we know maybe they might be single, hobbies, TV interests, reading, shopping, places that they like to go, because it's easier for you to target them in certain areas, and you know how to speak. A lot of this is for your messaging. So you know when you're putting out your solo travel planner, you know who you're speaking to. Hey, this is for the woman that has always wanted to travel by herself, but she knew that she wanted to have the safety and all these different things. And you just make your messaging tailored to your actual audience. And these are important to know, the psychographics and the demographics, because you want to know who your messaging is for and who you're talking to. And you can use ChatGPT to help you with it. Solo traveler enthusiast, it could be somebody that's a marketing manager, or maybe they're in New York City, $60,000 a year, bachelor's degree in communications, single, no children, lives in a small apartment in an urban area, enjoys a mix of life in natures and escapes. They're independent, adventurous, organized, values over material values. Look, wants to explore the world while staying safe within a budget. Hobbies and interests might include yoga, photography, journal cooking, enjoys research and travel destinations and planning itineraries, prefers solo trips to popular destinations for women like Japan, Portugal, New Zealand, enjoys staying in boutique hotels. So a lot of these, this is where I would be showing up at. I would be showing up in these types of places. So I would be in food groups, maybe where it's local cuisine and art, and you could join free Facebook groups. And they even have school community now, so where you can join that. Airbnb, I would be on the Airbnb page. And just in any type of articles, if you could get featured in articles that talk about Japan and all these different areas. Once you narrow down like the top 10 safest places and the safest countries, these are where you want to be at. You want to be in yoga groups. You want to be in photography groups, journaling groups, maybe cooking groups, because these are all the psychographics of your ideal target audience. And you want to be posting value content so people can understand, like, hey, here is why you need my planner, but this is also a great way. Remember, we talked about in your phase for market research is that you want to be able to do surveys and polls via social media. And these are the ways that you're going to do it. So you could put out a poll like, have you ever wanted to travel solo? What is your biggest obstacle when thinking about traveling solo? And you would list the different options based on your pain points. Is it confidence? Is it not knowing where to go? Is it budget? And then you get to understand what people are really looking for, and that helps you build the best planner. And then in the next video, we're going to go over how you then begin to create a planner outline, which we kind of went over some of those things in here. So I gave you a sneak peek on how to actually set up your outline. So when you get ready to design and create, you actually have a good outline. Don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe. And let's start to talk about what the planner outline is going to look like for travel solos.